Oi, mate. It's the Worst Movie Podcast. I'm Sir Arthur Willie Bottom III. Who are you?
What? Do you want me to do the British accent?
Yeah, mate. How do you say yes in British? Cheerio.
Righto.
We're not editing any of this out.
I'm Aaron, and this is a podcast where we watch the worst movies ever made in the hopes of finding a hidden gem.
Enjoy.
I did not expect that.
You never know what you might get on the Worst Movie Podcast.
Apparently.
So what are you watching these days?
I have just been mindlessly watching how it's made.
Is that still on? Are they making new ones?
I don't know if they're still making them, but they're all on HBO.
Yeah.
There's like a million seasons of them.
I used to love that show. I feel like that was one of the first shows that really sucked me into the, like, you'd watch the end of it and I'd be like, all right, I'm done now. But then it would like instantly kick into the next one. I'm like, I don't know. I do kind of want to know how,
CDs are made.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the YouTube shorts thing.
Yeah. It was the early version of doom scrolling.
Right.
Yeah, I love that show.
I just, again, to continue with awards season stuff, catching up on some actual good movies. I just watched the movie If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, starring Rose Byrne. Have you seen anything about this?
Never even heard of it.
She should win all the Oscars, I think. She was incredible in it. It is a very hard movie to watch. It actually co-stars Conan O'Brien in it.
Really?
But it's a very dark and sad movie. It's about a mother struggling with a child who is ill and things in her life are kind of unraveling and she's unraveling, but it's actually pretty funny at moments. I mean, it's darkly funny, but so well done. The sound and so many great shots and all that. It's a great movie. It's one of those movies that I probably will never watch again though, because of just how intense it is. And it's almost like a horror movie, but it's not a horror movie. Like, that's really good at creating that tension, sense of foreboding, and I don't know, it's an amazing movie.
Interesting. Might be outing myself as not really a movie person, but I don't know that I could tell you anything Rose Byrne is in.
She is, I think, getting a lot more recognition lately. I think in this movie, hopefully she wins an Oscar, but if you look up her IMDb, you'll be kind of amazed by how much you've actually seen her in. And she's been great from bouncing between comedy and drama. I think she's a great comedic actress and just great in just like as an actor too. I mean, she was
maybe outing myself further, but I'm looking at her IMDb right now, and I'm back to 2013, and I don't think.
I mean, she was in
Bridesmaids. Okay.
She was in X-Men, and I don't know, she's just been in a lot of stuff. But I think somebody who's kind of been in the background for the most part.
I've seen Troy.
Yeah.
This is like a blind spot for me. I know the name, but
yeah, I feel like I started to really appreciate her recently too in Platonic with Seth Rogen. I really liked that TV show, and then that kind of, I think that, and that was just in the last couple of years, that kind of piqued my curiosity of like, I know her and I've seen her and stuff, but I wouldn't have put her on any sort of list of mine until recently.
Neat.
Should we talk about today's movie?
Yeah, let's.
Still on the theme of 1960s TV adaptations, awful adaptations this month. We are covering The Avengers, the 1998 movie that has nothing to do with Marvel. This is The Avengers, which is probably forgotten by most people in the world at this point. Starring Ralph Fiennes, Uma Thurman, Sean Connery, 5% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was directed by Jeremiah Chekik. How do you say his name? He
I have no
directed
idea.
Christmas Vacation, Benny and June. $60 million budget, $55 million to the box office. Certainly not a success by any measures. Did you know about this movie?
Well, as I watched it, I was like, I saw this in theaters and completely erased it from my memory.
Yeah.
So some of that box office was my dad, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it, but no memory of like plot or anything else about it. It just kind of came and went.
Do you remember how you felt about it when you saw it?
I don't think I understood it when I saw it. And
Did you understand it when you saw it this time?
a little better, but
Yeah.
yeah, I remembered it as I watched it. I'm like, okay, I remember some of these scenes, or like, I remember the Uma Thurman leather cat suit thing she wears at the end.
Did that awaken something in you?
This clearly was quite a transformative time for me.
It was based on a British TV series from the 1960s. I didn't get a ton of background on this movie other than the most fascinating thing to me was apparently the studio watched the movie and panicked after test screenings too, and they removed about 30 to 40 minutes from this movie.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, this seems edited to hell. Don't ever want to watch those 30 to 40 minutes, but it makes me wonder how bad it was before that they were like, yep, this is better.
There's apparently like a graphic novel out that contains the full uncut script. I haven't looked into that. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I read. So the premise of this movie is, I didn't write it down.
That's fine. I don't think the screenwriters wrote it down either.
We're going to wing it. Uma Thurman is a doctor who was in charge of her name is Dr. Emma Peel.
Yes.
Which I read came about because they were looking for masculine appeal on the TV show in the day. They wanted somebody that would appeal to men, and they kept calling her different things. And then they just started calling it M.Appeal. And then they just started calling her Emma Peel. Anyway, she's a doctor who is in charge of something called the Prospero program, which would control the weather. And then early on, it gets sabotaged by someone who looks exactly like her, and they think it's her. She claims it's not her. Sean Connery, who was a former scientist at the Prospero program, is trying to basically sell weather to the world. He's destroyed their program and kind of built his own something. Weather. I don't know how it works. They didn't explain it, but he's trying to control the global weather and sell good weather to countries. And she teams up with Ralph Fiennes, who plays Steed. I don't remember his first name.
John Steed.
And he is a secret agent for some unknown group in the British government, and they pair up to try to prove her innocence. She's allowed the opportunity to prove that it wasn't her who destroyed the Prospero program.
Do you like this movie?
No, but I was intrigued by this movie. It piqued my interest. I kind of got into the show that it was based on and started watching a few episodes here and there. I like the show a lot more than I like the movie.
Was it a good show? I haven't seen a minute of the show.
Yeah, I think it's a good show. It kind of reminds me, it's different than the movie. It reminds me a little bit of Perry Mason or Sherlock Holmes, where there's kind of like mystery of the week. They go solve it. And it wasn't until later seasons where they started adding the fantasy or sci-fi elements to it, which is a big part of this.
Yeah.
There's invisible men in this and in this movie, and controlling the weather is all pretty sci-fi fantasy. So yeah, early seasons were much more grounded, like detective spy stuff. They called that genre spy-fi, which I've never heard before, but
never
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good show. The movie piqued my interest in the show. I did not like the movie.
Yeah. It kind of, the movie came across like a kind of trying to be a sexier, quirkier James Bond sort of adaptation or riff on that, but just totally failed.
Yeah.
I thought this was incomprehensible and just, it was. So we've said this a few times on the podcast. Like, I think you said pretty early on that you've been amazed every time you think we've watched the worst movie possible. You keep getting surprised about how much worse movies can get.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is kind of in the same vein where I'm like, I am surprised at how bad this is in the ways that it is bad. In that, I mean, how do you release a movie like this that is clearly cut? You've cut so much of the movie that it
Yeah.
doesn't even really make sense from scene to scene, where you're just like watching this kind of like, what happened? I clearly missed something. How did they get from point A to point B? Pretty early on, I was like, what kind of spy agency is this? Like, is this the least effective? Are these the worst spies ever on television?
Yeah. They all
Because
just go by they tell everyone their full name. They just walk like right up to the places that they're trying to infiltrate. They don't do any espionage or spying at all.
But even in the setup, so like you said in the synopsis, somebody's sabotage their government program. They watch on camera that it's Uma Thurman, and then they're like, who do we put on the case? Uma Thurman.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's the most basic thing in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening here. Like, are they trying to entrap her? Like, what human would be like, nah, she said it's not her, so let's not only not just arrest her on the spot, but let's put her in charge of investigating the. I mean, yeah, it's weird, and
it
then
doesn't make sense.
I didn't even get just basic things of why they thought Sean Connery's character might be the villain, and then they go to investigate him, and she just like walks into his house and has tea with him in his garden terrarium thing, or what, the greenhouse. And then
the greenhouse was kind of cool.
It was cool, but it didn't make sense what she was doing or how she was investigating. And it just kept going on like this. There were several points where the two heroes just keep trying to investigate Sean Connery and going to different parts of his organization or whatever, and then they almost get killed. And it's like they're fortunately paired up against the worst villain ever in movies, who just keeps like capturing them and then leaving the room right before he kills them to give them time to escape. And then they just, I don't know. Then it like cuts to them in their apartment, and it's like, how did they get back here? And then
it happened to both of them. They both like get knocked unconscious or something in the villain's lair, and then it just cuts to them waking up safe in their apartment.
Yeah, several times. I can't exaggerate how nonsensical this movie is. And it was like every single scene, if you ask me, hey, why are the characters doing what they're doing? I'd be like, I have no fucking idea.
Right.
Like,
you can tell they cut out 26 or 28 minutes of like exposition, surely because it didn't make any sense either. But like, it's even more incomprehensible when you leave all that out. And it goes from like this really long, dragging first act that's introducing the plot, and then you just jump right into the climax, and you're like, what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
How'd we get here? Also, there's a evil group of villains that all wear gigantic teddy bear costumes.
Yeah, I mean, just the look on my face when it cut to the scene and they're all in this giant boardroom. People around the boardroom, they're all in these giant, colorful teddy bear costumes. What is happening?
It's supposed to be like Spectre or something, but it's just stupid. It's just all these people in teddy bear costumes.
And then Sean Connery takes his teddy bear head off. And basically, the setup is he knows who everybody else is, but they don't know who each other are. So it's a way for them to be incognito.
Anonymous.
Yeah. And there are so many easier ways than, like, how did they all get there? So, I
Yeah.
show up for, got my Google Calendar invite for the board meeting. I show up for the board meeting, and some assistant is like, actually, can you enter through this entrance? And you're going to go to your dressing room. There's going to be a pink teddy bear costume. I want you to wear that, and then walk into the board meeting with that. And then for the rest of the time that we interact, you're going to take trips out to the British countryside, the castle and the greenhouse, and like all these different like villain lair points. And I want you to wear that teddy bear costume there as well. We'll load you into a truck to transport you. I mean, it's just
It's
like
insane.
it is insane. And there are just so many weird things like this. Yeah, so my notes are basically a bunch of things that just were terrible. And I just want to start at the high level. So we've talked about the plot.
Yeah.
The dialogue,
Oof.
I could not stand the dialogue. I mean, so every single line spoken to Uma Thurman, I believe, was filled with some sort of innuendo. So Uma Thurman and Ralph Fiennes meet, and 5 minutes, I'm just like, go get a room. You guys are just back and forth giving each other sexy eyes, and just everything is some sort of innuendo about how hot each other is, or how they want to sleep with each other, or whatever. And it's like, HR would fire you immediately.
Here you are going on about HR again.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Sean Connery tells her one should never fear being wet.
Yeah. Is that before or after he has the towel and is like wiping her down below camera?
And she's like, that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that apparently pissed off a lot of the fans of the TV show, because the TV show, there's none of that. There's a little flirting in the later seasons, but they were very specific in the show that there's no sexual tension between Steed and his female counterparts. And in the show, there are a lot of different female counterparts. Emma Peel is just one of them. I think he has like 4 different counterparts. But yeah, there was none of that in the show, and it's really heavy in the movie, and it's just kind of... It's gross.
It was way too much. It was...
Sean Connery tries to like start kissing her while she's unconscious.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
No, and then the lines of dialogue that weren't innuendo were filled with puns. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, I am a huge fan of puns. I enjoy using puns in my personal life and hearing puns, and I don't think I laughed even once. I didn't think any of the puns were clever. Maybe I just didn't understand some of the more clever puns, but it was a slog to get through this dialogue.
Yeah, there was no chemistry either between anybody in this movie, it seemed like. But I don't know, it was like lifeless.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah, there were cool things in it. Like, I liked the style of it a little bit at times.
Maybe.
I kind of like the old English gentleman spy. It had kind of a Kingsman type vibe to it a little bit.
Kingsman did that aspect of it way better.
Oh, yeah.
I think Bond does the gadget thing way better. I think the problem is there's so many aspects of this that it was trying to do that it just each of those dimensions, it did it terribly on top of a terrible plot, terrible dialogue. If you wrote down the high level pitch of this movie on paper, I'd be like, sign me up. I'm all in. Like I'm a huge fan of James Bond. I have a low floor for terrible Bond movies. I'll still enjoy myself, even if it's cheesy and has some bad dialogue and stuff like that. But this was like, I don't know. Yeah, if you told me sexy, stylish, cool Bond movie, I'd be like, I'm all in. But this was not a good implementation of that idea.
Yeah, and I love Ralph Fiennes and Uma Thurman and Sean Connery.
They're incredible.
Yeah,
This was
not that.
Yeah.
So Eddie Izzard plays a henchman in this,
Yeah.
and I think his only line in the movie, I could be wrong, but I think his only line in the movie is "Oh fuck!" right as he falls to his death.
You're not wrong. That is the only line he delivers in the movie.
What a waste.
Yeah. Yeah, he was I don't know. I only have a few things that I actually jotted down because everything was terrible in the movie, so I really just jotted down the most. Uh, is so that they have the two heads of the spy agency, father and mother, who father is a woman and mother is a man, and it's not like they're actually. I mean, I think father and mother are just their code names.
Yeah,
Mother is in a wheelchair, and father
is
seems like
blind.
she's blind. Is she actually blind?
In the show, she was, but in the show, she was in like one episode.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was not. I don't think that father was a big character in the show. Mother was in some later seasons of the show, I think.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure that Emma Peel and Mother were only in like half an episode together. So this is drawing from the source material, but it's something completely
It's
fucking
trying
different.
to mash it all together. But
Yeah,
it was, I mean, it's just, I think, basic movie making stuff where, like, she, in one scene, or she wears these sunglasses throughout the movie, and in one scene, she has a cane. But then, like, in another scene, she's playing croquet. And then in, like, the next scene, she has a cane. And then another scene, she disarms mother, like, fighting with it. And it's
yep.
like, what is, are you trying to tell us that she's not actually blind, or are you trying to tell us that she has superpowers where she can sense space and time? I don't know. Like,
I kept
what
forgetting she was blind.
yeah.
I was like, it was so
Like, that just feels like a very
crazy.
basic note that you should give the filmmaker. Like, hey, maybe not confuse the audience about what what like the basic
Can
physics.
they see or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There were a lot of people from Harry Potter in this movie too, and
Yeah, yeah. Mother and father were,
we're
yeah,
both,
they were both from Harry Potter.
yeah,
The technology was,
and Ralph Fiennes
oh, yeah, that's true. The technology was trying to be cool, but was terrible. The wasp drones.
that
What
all
did you
killed
think of those?
themselves.
Yeah.
So there's this like robot wasp swarm that chases them, and there's a car chase scene, and I'm pretty sure that 99% of the swarm killed itself. They just ran into bridges or ran into each other, or just it was
I mean,
like
hundreds of millions of dollars of technology used when Eddie Izzard and the other henchmen could have just, I guess, like, stopped the car and fired guns into.
there were a lot of ways to just easily kill both of the main characters, and they didn't take that route.
Yeah, they spent hundreds of millions of dollars on this technology. Eddie Izzard has this, like, little control box that he's from the bushes controlling this swarm of how many wasps? It's like 20 wasps, but
Yeah.
across this car chase, miles and miles of car chase, but there's no screen on it to show the video. So I'm like, how does he know where
Where
the
they
wasps are?
are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It was
Uh,
stupid. He also had this like joystick thing where it
yeah,
was like 20 joysticks all grouped together and they all moved it together, but he didn't ever touch that. He
yeah,
only
maybe,
touched like one joystick that moved all of them. And I'm like, why do you
yeah,
have
maybe
that?
he could control them individually when he needed to. But it certainly, the UI didn't make sense for how do you have this swarm of wasps, and each of them sometimes shooting at the cars and then sometimes trying to ram into the car. It was, there were so many technology things that seemed absolutely unnecessary towards the end. Peel and Steed, those are names, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Have this river to cross, and they get in these hamster ball things to cross the river.
Yeah, I was like, this is so conspicuous.
Yeah, I mean, again, what's the setup here? They're sitting on the banks of the river, blowing into these giant balls and get into them. And I'm also sure, like, there has
Um,
to be zero current for this to work.
Yeah, a fucking kayak or a canoe would be way stealthier and less obvious and
Yeah.
easier, faster.
Yeah. I mean, they're just gonna tip over and then like go along with the current. I don't know.
Yeah. And they're like walking so cool as they're walking across. I'd be like on my hands and knees crawling, rolling. I couldn't stand up. You're
Yeah.
walking on water.
Throwing up in the hamster ball. Get all seasick.
Yeah. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Connery had a great mustache in this, though. It was a little Fu
He was,
Manchu kind of thing.
yeah, he was chewing up scenery, but what'd you think of his performance?
I feel like he's got the same performance in just about everything he's in. He's Sean Connery. He doesn't do accents. He doesn't like have a huge amount of range. I love him. I love
Yeah,
Connery movies, but he's kind of always Connery.
at least they leaned into it. He had his big scene in front of the UN or whatever, like in a traditional Scottish, like in a kilt
And everything.
Yeah, exactly.
He was all decked out.
This is such a minor thing, but it really bugged me. There's a scene where he ransoms the world essentially for anyway, and then the next scene, and there are all these world leaders sitting around
Yeah.
the table, and he's delivering this big speech, and then the next scene it cuts to mother and mother's assistant coming over, and like basically there's some dialogue about how we have to tell the prime minister what's happening, and it's like, isn't the
Wasn't
prime
he
minister
there?
in that giant room where you give his big speech? It's
Yeah.
just basic things don't make sense in this movie.
Yeah. And what was going on with Mother and the assistant?
That seemed I called that
Mother,
out. Yeah, I called that out too. At some point, the assistant is feeding mother a cookie, and
yeah,
I was
like very sensually.
exactly.
Yeah.
There's a 40-year age difference too. I mean, not that that matters, but it seemed very, very Me Too.
It's this young, attractive assistant that's hand feeding him macaroons.
Yeah,
By the way, were those macaroons? I don't think I know what a macaroon is because those just look like cookies to me.
yeah. I maybe they call them something. Maybe macaroons is a more broad term. In
Is there a macaroon and then a macaron?
I think you're thinking of Macron, the French president.
Yeah. That's definitely what I'm thinking of. You're right. Amanda, when we were watching it, she
he's
said, "Why
eating-
is the acting like this?"
Like how over the top it was.
Yeah, and it was so stilted. Every line of dialogue was like a robot delivered it.
Because it was, I mean, I swear, half the dialogue was innuendo or puns, and they were probably just groaning inside at how terrible it was. There's no way you can deliver that for weeks on end if it's just like, I didn't even write any of the dialogue down. None of it was worth it. Like, I would love to give some examples, but yeah, it was just terrible dialogue. So I don't, world class actors, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they could do anything with that. What other stuff do you have about this movie that you liked, didn't like?
There was a scene where Uma Thurman was, I think, captured at Connery's house, and she kept running through the house, and it was like this maze where she kept coming around to the same room. There was also one of those, I don't remember what they call them, but the stairwells where you,
The Escher
yeah,
painting, is that?
I think that might be it, where she's like running around the stairs, and you'd think she'd be going up or down, but she ends up right back where she started.
Yeah.
And like several rooms where she kept doing that. She kept running around, and then she'd end up in the same room. I thought that was kind of a neat trick. There was also a big garden maze scene.
Real quick, I did like the Escher visual, which it is Escher, and I thought it was really cool. But after a few minutes of it, I was like, how is that actually working in real life? Because
I know
it only makes sense. Like,
it's
when
a
you look at
visual
it.
trick.
Yeah, but she's running really hard and like trying to understand if she's running in loops, and it's like, you would know if you start running upstairs and then
That they're not connected.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So it kind of took me out of it a little bit. But
Yeah, that's a small flaw in the thing. Also, she comes into this room and she's like, I'm pretty sure she's been in this room. There's like a fireplace and a mirror and a bust of somebody. And her plan is to just smash the bust in the middle of the floor. I'm like, you could have just moved like the fire poker.
Yeah.
You didn't have
Or
to
just
break
put the
it.
bust in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, it seemed unnecessary, but
I
all
mean,
right.
she was mad.
Yeah.
Also, that's kind of ingenious as a villain to just have that area of your mansion. Like, what do you do with that? The 364 days of the year that you don't have a spy trapped in your mansion.
I don't know. What's the purpose?
Somebody has to clean that, dust it. You're paying the
Yeah.
heating bill. I guess
Yeah.
he can control the weather, so maybe you just micro
Yeah.
weather climates and
Yeah. Also, in this movie, they mention cloning once because there are two Peels.
yeah.
There's innocent Peel that's with Seed, and then there's henchman Peel that is working for Connery. She's the one who destroyed the Prospero program. They never mention that again. And also, I don't think anybody told Mother that there are two Peels because he sees the evil henchman Peel at the end and is completely surprised that there's another.
And why even have a clone? I guess
It didn't serve any purpose.
Yeah, this movie was exhausting.
Yeah.
I think it's the shortest movie we've covered, and it was way too much. It was an hour and 27 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And
that means this was a 2-hour piece of shit before.
Yeah, I could
cut that out.
I could have used another 40-minute edit.
Yeah. So this was a movie that they did not allow reviewers to view before it released, which is kind of a sign that they know it's dog shit. And
I mean, it's a huge sign, especially for a big budget kind of tentpole IP movie.
Yeah. Father, the blind villain, and the evil Peel die in a very low speed hot air balloon accident. Which I loved.
Yeah, that was kind of a funny scene where Uma Thurman, the good version of her, I guess, she falls from the hot air balloon really far and onto a statue, and she's fine, but she's knocked out. The balloon blows up, and then runs over to her, revives her, and then is like, where's Father and what, I don't know. And then she's like, I think they're dead. And it's like, how did you know? You were knocked out.
Yeah, you were falling.
And then they sit there for felt like ages. I think it was just a few minutes, sexy eyes and innuendo, and then they finally kiss. And it's like, there's still this whole thing about the world is being destroyed by the weather. This isn't the end, guys. You can't just like have your makeout scene now just because you killed one of the henchmen. You have to actually go stop the main villain. Yeah.
Yeah. He runs up to her after that and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm thinking, well, I just fell 100 feet onto my tailbone. So
yeah,
I guess
she's nimble enough to get in that hamster ball and cross the river. I assume that was the Thames. They said something about an island in London.
Yeah.
I meant to look this up. I don't know London geography well, but are there islands in London?
Don't know. I've been to London once, but I never went to an island.
I guess we'll never know.
I think that's unknowable.
Yeah, no way to look that up.
Why did Connery let them into his lair at the end?
Why did he let them in every time they were in his, like, he let them in the first time in the castle, he lets them in when they're in the maze. Like, there's this, by the way, another piece of technology that was just, they have this fake peacock that has a camera in it that looks like a live.
I forgot.
It's like your fucking property. Just put a camera up. Like, you don't have to hide the fact that you have a security camera.
You don't have to pretend.
Yeah, he lets them in there. He does the sword fight with Ralph Fiennes and like defeats him and then disappears. And he lets them in the end. It's like, no, just kill them.
Yeah, I don't get it.
He lets them into the office where they have the board meeting with the teddy bears.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's killing off all the teddy bear board members. It's just, I don't know.
I don't know. It didn't make sense. There's clearly a lot of this movie that we didn't get to see, and I don't know if it would have made it make sense, but
Probably not. Probably not. I
yeah.
I don't have a lot of faith in studio executives. I have to like believe that they're not going to sabotage this movie by making it worse. After, I mean, the test screenings came back really bad. So I
Yeah,
don't,
people hated it in the
yeah,
test screening.
I thought the fight between Sean Connery and Ralph Fiennes at the end, the second confrontation was really funny because it's like, okay, Connery's twice your age. You should be able to defeat him well.
Yeah, he's got old
I,
man strength.
yeah. Shout out. I watched this with John and shout out to him. He noticed that Sean Connery's cane at one point, he swings it and it's like it's
Rubber.
clearly a rubber. It's like bouncing. It's
Yeah.
bending as they're fighting. And I don't know, just the whole like what is the system that they've set up? Like clearly just a set piece for this,
Mhm.
but he shuts down the computer, or Uma shuts down the computer, and then there's this countdown to how it's gonna explode. It's like, whoa, who's
And it was
designing
like
a
3
system?
seconds.
Yeah. Who's designing any sort of system where once you shut it down, it's just going to destroy this billions of dollar facility that it's like, no, reboot, turn it back
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, there was clear this the final set piece was like this big I don't even know what it was. Like it seemed like a Star Wars set piece or something
I was
where
going to say
it's
it's reminiscent of Empire Strikes Back, the
yeah, it's like it's
Luke
almost
and
like you're
Vader.
inside of a nuclear cooling tower or something, and there's water at the bottom, and there's these little balls that like have a tiny office in them, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was a like it clearly was designed to look cool, but I don't know what that place did.
Yeah.
I think that was supposed to be the mechanism that controls the weather, but we really don't know what mechanism he's using to control the weather.
Which movie had better CG, this movie or Wild Wild West?
Oh my God.
Same year, basically. I mean, this was 1998 and Wild Wild West was 99.
I think that this movie, I don't know. I was going to say this movie didn't use as much like big scale CG, but I don't think that's true. Like in Wild Wild West, the whole final set piece is on the giant walking spider thing, which is all CG all the time and it looks like shit
Yeah.
and like terrible green screen. I think this one didn't have like they were on an actual set. They did use CG for like establishing shots and they used CG for like the wasps and shit, but I think that Wild Wild West was worse, but they were both not good.
Yeah, even the final shot in this where by the way, the final shot, did they get married? I don't know. They were
That's what
in
I said. I'm like, she's in a white dress. Are they married now?
and it was in this, gazebo thing on top of this, but it's this big wide shot of London in the background, and I'm like, "Why does
Yeah.
it look like that?" It looked painted.
Yeah.
I mean, that was definitely CG. I felt like John also pointed out how there were so few extras in this movie. They're
Yeah.
they're driving and there are, like, no other cars on the road. It was like they used all their budget on, I don't know, Connery's salary or something.
Probably.
Yeah, I think the whole thing was shot on a soundstage.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that that might be pretty much true. It seemed low budget for what it was. I don't know if all that money was going into bad CG work or paying actors salaries or what, but it was rough. When Connery dies at the end from basically his own machine kills him with lightning, the lightning like lifts him up and just throws him into the sky infinitely. He just disappears into the sky from
Yeah.
a lightning strike. I'm like, what
How does
function of lightning is this?
how does lightning work?
I think I need to go back to school.
Yeah. My last note is apparently the invisible guy was played by the original actor in the TV show.
Yeah, what was his name? McNee. Patrick McNee. He played Steed in the original show. He has a vocal cameo as an invisible man.
But the invisible man was really, it threw me off because this was about an hour into the movie, hour
Yeah.
and change. It was towards the end. And I'm like, people can be invisible in this universe. Like nobody else is magical.
Yo, why aren't they doing the invisible thing during this final battle?
Yeah. Why didn't they have an invisible person go in and sabotage the, like everything
You've
else is
already got
very,
one working for you.
yeah, everything else is pretty grounded and yeah, quasi believable in that it's like cloning. They solved cloning, they've solved drone, whatever. And so
Yeah.
it's at least, tangible. And then it's like, wait, I don't know, do other people have superpowers?
Yeah. Amanda said, why can't we see his clothes?
He's
You can see
naked.
like his pipe and everything else. I thought that the CG.
You can see his pipe.
Well, if you look really hard. Yeah, there was a visual effect where the Invisible Man walks in front of like a projection on a projection screen. I
Yeah.
thought that was the best CG in the movie. I thought it looked really good. It seemed better than like modern movies. I don't know if they spent the budget on that shot, but I thought it was a good effect.
Yeah.
Did you notice it or?
It didn't even register as a. I mean, I think I was so by this point I was not really looking for bright spots in the movie anymore. I was just
You were a full on hater.
I was
mode.
counting down the seconds till the end.
Yeah.
Anything else that you liked?
Not from the movie.
Just in life, anything you liked?
No, I mean I liked a lot of things from the show.
Yeah.
I went and watched several episodes of the show.
Are you going to finish it?
Well, so part of it is that apparently it was common practice in the 60s for TV shows to write over tapes of existing episodes. So a lot of the first couple seasons are completely lost to time. I think they have 3 surviving episodes from the first season.
That's sad.
Yeah. So I don't think I'll watch those, but I'll watch what I can. I liked them. The first sidekick he had in the show was Honor Blackman, who was Pussy Galore and Goldfinger. And then Diana Rigg played Emma Peel in the show, who was Olenna Tyrell in Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Great actress. She was also a Bond girl. She was in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. She was Bond's wife that died at the end.
Nice.
But yeah, the show, I'm way more interested in the show than I am the movie. The movie fucking sucked. Speaking
of Bond crossovers, did you know that the guy who played the villain in this also played James Bond?
Who's that?
Sean Connery. I'm not
Must
sure
have only been in one. Maybe I didn't see that one.
The lesser ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think people liked those early ones.
Speaking of which, I couldn't find anything online about this, but did you see anything in terms of, was that a huge deal about the first Bond playing in this Bond-like movie? I mean, I don't know. It seemed like people would have made a big deal out of it.
I didn't see anything either. I could find very little about the background of this getting made or like the production or
they taped over those tapes real quick.
I think the studio swept this under the rug as fast as they could. It was scheduled to release in like July or something, a big summer blockbuster. And then once they got a look at the final cut, they're like, maybe this should go to like August or September where movies go to die.
Is that still the case? I feel like January, February is kind of the dumping ground these days, but
yeah, probably has changed since those days. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that this is just a super forgettable movie. I mean, I saw it and I saw it when it came out and I forgot I even saw it. I forgot it existed.
Yeah, I don't think I said this at the top, but I'm pretty sure I saw this as well. I don't remember when I saw it, whether it's theater or rental, but I think I saw it soon after it came out. So, but I couldn't tell you anything about it.
This movie and the show itself were both obviously heavily inspired from James Bond, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., Mission Impossible, even like Batman. This is the worst of all of those. It's the worst. I don't know. It's like they all had a kid and it was it was
Yeah.
it was awful.
And I should say Doctor No came out in 1962, if
Something
I'm
like that.
and I think the TV show aired in 61, like it premiered in 61, so it actually preceded the Bond movies.
Yeah.
Obviously, the novels were out, but um, it's not really ripping off, maybe riffing off of it, but yeah.
Well, the show had. I wrote this down. I have a note. The show parodied a bunch of those shows. They had
Mm,
an episode called "The Girl from Auntie" instead of Uncle. They had an episode called "Mission Highly Improbable" and one called "The Winged Avenger." So
nice.
obviously they were like aware that they were kind of pulling from these better sources.
Well, what's your alt pick? It's the TV show.
I watched the TV show. You might like. I don't know if you like those old TV shows. They're slow, but I like the TV shows. I think there's obvious picks for like Kingsman or Mission Impossible or Austin Powers. I think there's a lot of good movies in the genre. I picked Charade. It's maybe not one to one, but it's a 63,
Not familiar.
1963. Has Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, George Kennedy. Really good cast. It's kind of got the same like 60s chic um, spy espionage style. Really good dialogue. A lot of a lot of charisma and wit and chemistry between Hepburn and Grant, and
Yeah,
it's a really good movie.
yeah. I'll have to check that out. I didn't do my homework again. I keep forgetting to put in my notes that I need to think of alt picks. So, uh, I mean, like you said, there are just so many obvious, like, good ones. I can't really think of any off the top of my head, like, n not well-known, cool, stylish spy movies. I fail. Give me enough.
Fair enough. I don't know if this will go into the final cut, but the TV show, like obviously this is supposed to be really stylish, and the TV show, and maybe I think it was this movie. This movie, the clothing was designed by Pierre Cardin.
Hmm,
Cardin, the
I didn't know that.
designer. But in the TV show, there was like a really strong like fetish influence at times in the
Huh.
costuming, and like there's a little bit of it in the movie where she's got like the black leather
Oh, yeah.
getup or whatever. But in the TV show, Diana Rigg wears this like outfit that was designed by like a famous fetish clothing.
Hmm,
It's like got a spiked choker, and I don't know.
nice.
It was
That's pretty cool.
yeah,
By the
it
way,
was stylish.
speaking of clothes, you didn't say anything about my getup for the podcast.
Oh my god, is that a suit jacket?
Yeah,
Sport jacket?
I'm wearing a dress shirt and a
Why?
jacket
Why are you doing this?
because it's such a stylish movie, and Ray Fiennes looked
Oh,
really, so I actually tried to find a tie. I couldn't find it quickly enough to get on. And obviously, I don't have a bowler hat,
yeah, I went
so
with the newsy today for the
yeah,
yeah.
I couldn't find my skin tight leather onesie
Yeah,
either. So
my choker is in storage.
yeah, I'm glad I brought it up so people aren't just like, why is he wearing a you know dress shirt and jacket for the
Yeah.
podcast?
I couldn't even see the lapel until you pointed it out, but
Yeah,
I see it now. It's a
well,
good look.
well worth it.
You're you're a proper gentleman now.
I am. Yes.
Apparently, in one scene in this movie, it pissed off a lot of British fans because he has Steed has a strange function of his car where it pours tea out of the dash,
Yeah.
and it's pouring tea that's already got milk in it, and that made a lot of British people mad.
I. It seemed like it made fun of British people a lot. I don't know if that was
Yeah,
like a winking thing, but they stopped for tea a lot. I'm also drinking tea, so
yeah,
another
you're on
homage.
brand.
I am. I'm. You know, almost British. Yeah,
Almost.
almost. Well, I think that's about all I have.
Same.
If you have any questions or comments for us, send us an email at theworstmoviepodcast@gmail.com. Please subscribe on Apple or Spotify and
And YouTube.
YouTube, wherever else you see us. Click all the buttons.
Yes.
I, I'm Ade.
I'm Aaron. Thanks for listening to the Worst Movie Podcast.